Hey guys, thank you so much for coming back and tuning in for episode 2 of Sailing the Madam Reefer. Hope you enjoy and stick around for the lesson at the end, where we're going to talk about how to increase the life expectancy of all your electronic devices, like the ones that you have at home. See you at the end. On May 22nd, I turned 24, and I had big plans for my birthday, but little did I know that life had other plans for me. And believe me, it wasn't going to be a pleasant surprise. I originally had plans to go into Catalina for the entire weekend to spend my birthday there with my friends, but then I come to find out that the island is closed because of COVID-19, and there's nothing that I can do about it. So I decided that I'm going to go to Malibu for the day, anchor off there, have a barbecue on the boat, and just have a good time with my friends and come back at night. So I go off to the supermarket, I do all the grocery shopping, I prepare the boat, my friends arrive, we set sail, and all up to there, everything was going fantastic. Yeah, it was. Alright guys, it's my birthday weekend, and we're headed to Malibu right now. If you actually take a look out the window, you'll see that we are on our way headed to Malibu. We're about 2 hours out, but we're gonna go there, spend the day for my birthday. Unfortunately, right around when we passed Venice and we were about to reach Santa Monica, the engine started going. I'm not the best at recreating engine sounds, but let's just say that the RPMs on the engine were going up and down, like the fuel wasn't like really exploding in order to recreate the amount of RPMs that I was requesting for. So I pull down the RPMs, I kind of play around a little bit to see what it is. I'm trying to figure things out, and that's why there's really no footage about it, because I was trying to get a hold of the situation. So I call up my mechanic, and I start, telling him step by step everything I did, to see if he catches anything. And as soon as I tell him that I, docked up at the fueling station, I got off the boat and he told me fill it up, and I was like, yeah, fill it up. And I went right inside, and son of a gun, he put gas on my diesel tank, didn't he? Yep, that was it. When I told him over the phone, we both realized at the same time as I was saying it. And man, that sucked. What I did right there was kill the engine, and I had to call it a day. So I turned the boat around, and that's when things escalated. As I turned the boat around, one of the lines that I was reeling in catches the canvas that covers the window of my bedroom, catches it, gets tangled, and now it's hanging right on top of the water. And none of my friends were able to grab it fast enough, so it ends up falling into the water overboard, and we slowly see it drifting. And as I see it drifting, I'm like, should I jump, catch it, and just, what should I do? Nobody's being able to do anything. Like, you have to do something. I have no engine at this point, so it's not like I can turn on the engine and, maneuver around. I have 6 people on my boat, and they're all in the front, in proximity to the sails that are all open. So it's not like I can start, maneuvering around with the sails in a safe manner. So I decided to heave to, and I was about to jump into the water to go and catch it. And then I realized, no, the water is going to be too cold, I'm going to get tired, the boat is going to drift away, this isn't a really good idea. And it definitely wasn't, because I turned around and there was my kayak. I've never had to use out there on sea, so I was like, well, I guess this is going to be the first time. So you can see my face of disappointment and anger when everything was going down and I was having to take care of everything. I had to be the one to get overboard. I left a responsible first mate my first mate Esteban, whom I've taught how to sail the boat a little bit so that he could handle it. I didn't feel comfortable letting anyone jump into the kayak in the middle of the ocean because it's not something that it's really easy to do, and you know, I didn't want to be responsible for anyone's lives there. So I knew that the boat, while it was heeled to, you know, it wasn't going to move much, so I had enough time to row out there. And good thing that I didn't jump in the water, because actually as I started rowing out there, my friends were like, it's out there, it's out there. I'm like, where is it? I couldn't even see it, and I was on top of the kayak. So thank God that I didn't jump into the water, because I wouldn't have been able to see it. I would have gotten tired, and it really drifted away. So I actually had to, you know, row a lot to get back to the boat, move back and forth. I also don't leave trash behind. I don't like doing that. I rescued back my canvas, which I'm very proud of. Came back to the boat, and finally I set us on a course back to the marina, and went down to the gallows to cry my ass out. Maybe, maybe not. You'll never know. I did, I totally did. I cried my ass out. But I couldn't cry my eyes out for very much longer because I had to go back on deck and take care of things. So I get back to driving the boat, and we are headed back home. I call the rescue boat, and we were able to sail all the way into the marina, and we sailed inside the marina as well. And they found us midway into the marina. They hooked us up to the boat. I actually got to learn how to be hooked up to a boat whenever you're getting towed, because it was the first time that I ever needed to be towed.
Adventures 102.
It happens.
Yeah,
That's why I would have a towboat.
After we got docked, I was taking care of putting the boat back in order and cleaning everything up. The towboat comes back, tell me that the owner of the fueling station had heard what happened, because I had actually called in to tell them that that had happened, and actually asked them for the number of the rescue boat. He wanted me to bring the boat so that they could help me repair it, which was very nice of them. The towboat basically towed us back to the fuel station. I met the owner of the fuel station. His name was Craig. He was an amazing gentleman. I met his right-hand man, and I met the gentleman who actually fueled my tank with the wrong type of gas. And they all apologized, and they were very, very humble about it. And it was nobody's fault. I was in a rush as well. I wanted to get out there with my friends out to Malibu, and I should have been paying more attention. He had to make me sign a piece of paper that he didn't, that basically stated that, he was putting gas or diesel. It was a busy day for him as well. We were all running around, so it was nobody's fault really. And I really appreciated that, at least they were taking the time to actually fix their mistake and helping me with my boat. They pumped out the entire gas from the fuel tank, and they had to pump out the fuel that was remaining in the pipes of the engine. So it really took around an hour and a half to 2 hours to fix it. Then they filled me back up. They had the engine back and running. I couldn't believe it. I thought that my boat had been totaled on my birthday, and that was not a good birthday, but luckily everything got fixed, and the boat was back and running. Now that it was back and running, we decided to go out and enjoy the rest of the day. It ended up being a pretty cool day. I really liked it. I learned a lot about my engine. I learned a lot about emergencies and how to handle it, how to heel to and go and rescue something with my kayak overboard. Not rushing, doing things step by step. There's a famous quote from Napoleon that he says to his servants that are dressing him up in the morning: dress me slowly because I'm in a hurry. Meaning, when you're in a hurry, you should do things slowly, because when you do them in a rush, that's when you make mistakes, and then you end up having to go back and undo those mistakes, and it takes twice the time that it would have if you would have just taken it slowly, paid attention. You wouldn't be in that situation. End of the day, we had an amazing time. My birthday ended up being a really good day.
We're going sailing!
Yeah!
There's the animal up there.
A little sea otter.
Living his best life. We're going sailing! The man, the myth, the legend. Oh, there he is.
There we are.
Look at that. It's 7 o'clock, and at 7 o'clock in the marina, we have the custom that's going all around the world, where we make a lot of noise and applaud for all of the doctors who are out there fighting on the front lines. There you go. On the front lines of COVID-19. Thank you guys so much for everything that you do, keeping us safe, keeping us healthy, and thank you. This goes for you. Alright, into today's lesson, how to increase the life expectancy of your devices. All of your electronic devices have batteries of their own in order for you to enjoy the product for a really long time. But what happens? For some reason, over time, the batteries of these devices start to work worse and worse and worse and worse because, you know, we just think that this is what normally happens to devices, and that's when it's time to change them, throw it away, buy a new one. That just generates a lot of waste. It's true that at one point you certainly have to do it and upgrade, but the life expectancy of these products can be so much longer than it actually is, or that we actually give them, especially the batteries inside of them, because we actually don't realize that we are damaging the batteries of our products when we are trying to take care of them. I have a lot of friends that do this, and I did this myself, and most of the batteries of these products are ruined as well. But you know, I don't mind. I keep them because I'm not gonna go out and buy new ones. So one thing that we all do and all did was leave our electronic devices plugged in so that we would have them fully charged and ready to go for whenever we needed them, right? This is the worst mistake that you can do. Once a device is fully charged, you need to unplug it and let it be until you use it. And when you use it, just fully use it and replug it. Whenever a device is plugged in for too long, the battery will get damaged. The life expectancy of it will decrease by a lot. It's like feeding a person and feeding them and feeding them and feeding them every day, all day, and never actually making them exercise. Even if you're feeding them good energy, at one point, you know, they need to exercise. So then the time that you actually want to use them and exercise them, they actually can't exercise for very long because they are so stuffed with energy that their battery's not running as good as before, as it used to before, because they're stuffed with it, they're bloated. So they can't work as longer, and your battery starts going from 8 hours to 4 hours to 2 hours, and that's how it just works. These devices like the AirPods that will give you 3 hours of phone call and listening to music or whatnot, they don't give me more than 45 minutes. And it's because of the fact that I leave them plugged in on their little charging station, and I never necessarily use them every day, so they spend over a week plugged in. Battery gets damaged, so then when I want to use them, they only last 45 minutes instead of the 3 hours that they should, because the battery is now overstuffed and damaged, bloated. The same thing happened to my laptop because I used to leave it plugged in all the time as a desk computer. Same thing with my phone because I always wanted to make sure that my phone had all battery running at all times. Same thing with the speakers. So just make sure that you start taking care of your batteries of your electronic devices so that they last longer, the life expectancy lasts longer. You don't spend as much money having to replace these. You don't generate much waste by having to throw these away and buying new ones. And you know, you'll get to actually enjoy your products for a much longer time. I hope you learned today with the little electronic lesson, and I hope I see you on episode 3 next week of Sailing the Madam Reefer. See you next week, guys.